Hey everybody, this is Mike Brunn from the Rock and Roll Experience with Mike Brunn. So here's the video that most of you guys have been waiting for. I was really lucky. As most of you know, this past weekend I was able to attend Vinnie Vincent's Christmas party that was held in Nashville, Tennessee. It was a 2-day event, and during the second day, Vinnie was kind enough to sit with me for about an hour, answering any of the questions that I had for him. Now, for me, what made this interview even cooler than it already was, as you will see when the video starts, Vinnie appeared in full makeup, which as far as I know, this is the first time he did an interview in makeup since 1983. So we're talking about something that's, 36 years or so in the making. I want to take this moment just to thank Vinnie. About 6-8 weeks ago, he was kind enough to do an interview with me over the phone. He reached out to me. He had said he would love to do an interview to help promote his upcoming Christmas party. And he reached out to me knowing that I was a fan that had attended a few of his other events previously, and that I planned on attending the Christmas party. So Vinnie, I just want to say thank you for taking the time to sit and chat with me on the phone, as well as for sitting and chatting with me during the Christmas party as well. It was a real honor to have the opportunity to do this interview. I also want to take a moment to thank Vinnie's team, especially Steve Wilkie. Steve, thanks a lot for everything this past weekend. You were absolutely great, and everybody on the team was absolutely great and accommodating to me. So I just want to take a moment and say thanks to them. I also want to just one more shout out to my friend Vincent LaRussa, who helped me videotape this and was really helping, I'll say, direct this very unexpectedly and very unplanned between him and I. As I'm asking Vinnie questions about different things in the room, he started pointing to them and having some of Vinnie's people kind of bring them over to the table so that this way you'd be able to see them during this interview. So Vin, thanks a lot for helping out there. That was totally unscripted and unplanned, but I think it helps make this video just a little bit extra special, a little cooler. It's kind of funny when you're sitting on the stage, there was the room full of about 45 people there watching and listening. And I really kind of, as you'll see, I was kind of just looking and chatting with Vinnie the whole time. There was one question though I asked, I won't say which one it was, but after I asked the question, it was kind of funny to myself. I heard like some people in the room gasp like, oh, he asked that question. I can't believe it. How's Vinnie going to respond? And Vinnie was really cool about it. And, I think it led to a good conversation. So, I really hope you guys enjoy this. I think when some of the props come up that were in the room and is shown on the screen, I definitely think one of them is going to cause a bunch of comments on this. And I kind of think it was really cool that Vinnie had this particular item on hand and was willing to talk about it. So, I guess without further ado, why don't we get to the video? Again, Vinnie Vincent, thanks a lot. His entire team, thank you. My buddy Vinnie, thanks a lot. And let's get to the video. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you enjoy the interview, and thanks a lot for watching. All right, let's get started here. First off, before we even get to all the questions I was going to ask Vinnie, I want to say thank you. First off, Vinnie did a phone interview with me. I don't know how many of you guys heard it, probably about 6 or 8 weeks ago. And that was in honor of Vinnie, so I want to just start off by saying thank you for that.
Well, Mikey, thank you. You're my man, so, You're on in Vinnie world now, so anything goes, right?
Excellent. Thank you,
Thank you.
I really appreciate it.
Thank you for being part of it,
No, thank you. I appreciate it. So, I wanted to just start off by asking you a simple thing. Yesterday obviously was day one of the Christmas party here. How do you think everything went? I know we all had a great time yesterday, right, on day one?
Everybody's like, this, we were talking earlier. Yep. Remember when I said to you, this is like for me, this is like to be 18 for me, 19, with playing with my bands in my garage or something, And I invite my friends over to hang, and we play our songs to my friends, And that's what this is like. So I feel like we got all my friends here, and we're just hanging and having a great time. Mm-hmm. So that's it,
Absolutely.
So and I'm so happy up here. I'm doing what I love, and it's loose. And it's just like, it's like being a kid again for me, so I love it.
And I can say we definitely enjoyed listening to that performance just now. And, for anybody who's watching this on the internet once we post it, anybody who thinks Vinnie can't play anymore has lost their minds, because Stephanie and Vinnie are playing with right there as if it was 1986.
Well, thank you, my friend. Yeah.
So I wanted to ask you about some of the things that we have in the room here, because I know I was walking around yesterday looking at this. If you don't mind, I wanted to start with the poster, that's the flag, the banner that's over there. I'm assuming that came from the Creatures of the Night Tour, that somebody threw it on stage, but tell us the story behind that.
That's exactly what it was. It was March 9th, 1983, Dallas. And I used to save all of these things. So I still have tons of this stuff at home.
So cool.
And I would save every one of these banners, and was going through my storage area, looking for stuff that we're gonna bring, and I found this one. I said, oh wow, this is amazing. So, look at this. Nothing has been damaged,
It's amazing.
like pristine after, what is it, 1980, 37 years.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought, wow, this is where it all started, right? Imagine that. This is where it all began. And wouldn't it be cool to bring that here to say, this is where it began, everybody,
Absolutely.
And Gene and I held this up on stage,
Mm-hmm.
and we used to do that for all the banners that everybody
Absolutely. Very cool.
That's cool. Yeah.
Very cool.
I noticed all the boots that you had up here yesterday. I think a few of them made it to the table over here
Yep.
today as well. I think I recognize the blue boots from the Vault experience, I think.
Yeah.
But is there a story behind maybe some of these other boots here that you brought with you?
They're all, yes, all of these boots are history boots. I wore them pretty constant from the Creature Store up through Vinnie Vincent Invasion, up into maybe 1991.
Okay.
And they were all part of the story,
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, these bring back a lot of memories for me. Those red boots over there were really a visual memory for me, because these I bought on the Lick It Up tour, and we were in Paris, France, obviously, and walking through downtown area, and I saw these in the window, and I said, man, I gotta have these. So we all went inside, and I go, let me have those boots, tried them on, and I never stopped wearing these boots, on and off for like years and years. Had to be 10 years. I actually had worn these boots recently, so they still have a lot of memory for me, and really part of that time era for me, memory-wise. So this is all part of the merchandise that it's time to pass on
Mm-hmm.
to the fans,
Very nice.
and let them enjoy it now, And these, the blue boots,
Mm-hmm.
those were Vinnie Vincent Invasion boots.
Oh, nice.
So those were, worn throughout that whole period. So, look at all this great stuff. Got the blankets. Everybody loves these blankets, man. So, yeah, I got my Vinnie Vincent Archives box that has yet to see commercial release,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm working on it. It's my masterpiece in the making. But I thought I'd bring those to display to everybody. And Mike, it's yours.
Yeah, no, you brought up the box set, so a lot of fans have spoken about that over the years.
Yeah.
I know that you have a lot of unreleased material. What's the plan to release that? Do you have a plan to release that?
Yeah,
The
big
fans are
plans.
always asking about the box set.
Well, Steve Wilkie, my guy, you guys know Steve. He is an absolutely divine, amazing talent on, his Photoshop. He's genius, in my opinion. So we're creating extra books to go with this, really high quality picture books with, history, the Vinnie history, and then, where it all began through there. And that's gonna be part of this box set. I'm planning, it's quite an expensive project. Let me bring this over here. This is a very expensive project. When it all began, way back when, going back to prehistoric times, this was supposed to be 6 cassette tapes, of home demos. And then, unfortunately, I got detoured, and for 25 years. And so I'm picking the pieces up, and it's just that way, It's been a long time trying to, now find daylight. So here we are. Everything's good, here, good for me. Try and finish this, and it's going to be turning into a multi CD project. It could reach 15 to 20 CDs because of the amount of material, but it's also going to be released on vinyl. So with a picture book that goes along with it, of course, like I said, it's very expensive. This is what the time delay is. So, but as long as I'm still here above ground, this thing's gonna get out. And when, I can't say because of the expense involved, but it's gonna come out. Because this is actually my legacy. It covers everything from the time I was a kid, you know, from 13, 14, my first songs I ever wrote, and to my first band, my first recording of my band, what my dad paid for, you know, in 1966, you know, yeah. I remember, that was amazing. You know, it was $175 for like 4 hours to bring my band into a studio. And I remember my dad saying, how can we afford it? Well, you gotta afford it. You know, Vinnie has to get the recording for his band. And my mom was always like, yeah, we'll do it, we'll find one. So that's how it was, you know. So up through all the KISS demos, up through the writing sessions, up through all the Vinnie Vincent Invasion demos, recordings, outtakes, just really, it's a fun journey, you know. It has the Guitar Again unreleased tracks, all in master quality. And the thing I love most about the KISS era on this is that it has the very first songs that I wrote with Gene and with Paul, which I'm really, you know, those are moments for me. I can, you know, it's all so visual, it's an instant recall to see it all, you know. But they were magic moments and it's all captured, you know. Jam sessions we had. Eric and Gene and I would go, we could do something like this, you know? We just at rehearsal, SIR, all the time in New York. So we just jam it out, you know, just hours, you know? And then we lead into rehearsing songs, you know? So it gives a peek into this really private stuff that nobody gets a chance to hear. So it's my legacy. I mean, I'm really proud of what I want to put into this, and I'm just hoping that all the funds come together so it can happen.
Is there any unreleased songs like in Creatures at Night sessions that you have? And I know you said there's a lot of rehearsals, but I know KISS fans would love to hear some of those. Like, to me, that's one of the best albums KISS has ever done. And
it is a great album.
If there's unreleased stuff, I know KISS fans would love to hear that.
There's a lot of unreleased stuff I have. There's unreleased songs that we just wrote, that never got even recorded, that are on there. And like I said, we were talking yesterday from the early demos of, or the early songwriting versions of maybe Unholy and I Just Wanna, and the stuff that went on Revenge that we never used, which I always thought we should have used. But they're there. It's a real fun stuff.
Awesome. You know, speaking of demos, I know I'm a big demo collector, and you know, I love collecting the demos. I love hearing that unreleased stuff. I know there's a demo I heard years ago that mixed the KISS song, I think it's On the Eighth Day, with Boys Wanna Rock, right? Yeah. So can you tell us how those became two different songs? Was Gene maybe not a fan of the chorus? Like, how did they get broken out into two separate songs?
The visual, the memory is so vivid, you know. And New York City, 1983, summertime, never forget this. We were all going through, we just got back from Rio. Rio was June, right? June, we just got
June
back. Started work on Lick It Up as soon as we got home, maybe 2 days off. And we started writing. And Gene loved this he loved the thing on the demo I had called Boys Are Gonna Rock.
Right.
Early version.
Yep.
You know? And there was this down and on and the wheels of life, driving on a brand new beat, you know. So, and so we took that and incorporated it into an altered version of the Boys Are Gonna Rock chorus.
Right.
And then he had the guy on the eighth day, and that's, you know, was his vision. And I said, let's go with that. You know, it feels like it's big, you know, it's grandiose, and I loved it. So that's how it came about. And the visual I have of it was sitting in, you know, New York City, you know, it was a great time in '83, really great time. And we're in these delicatessens, you know, and he's ordering a pickle, and he has a nice basil looking like this. So we were sitting there, and that's where we did most of the writing. Yeah, a lot of it anyway.
So is that a song, I guess, that you brought in for Lick It Up that you already had?
Yeah, I already had.
Any of the, because I know you have 8 writing credits on the album. Were any of those other songs that were yours that you brought in and then maybe morphed into something else?
Shoot You Full of Love at one time had been I Need Love.
Okay.
But it always had but it was slightly, it was a different, very different, but so we did an updated version of that. We recorded that actually for Lick It Up.
Okay.
But we were just finding all of the songs that were really right for that album, So I actually think once we found Lick It Up, I think everything else just made itself happen,
Right.
All Hell's Breaking Loose, that has a funny, a real strange, but not strange, but it was a happy memory for me too, because very visual. And Eric always had this, he had, I don't know how long he had, but it was like hanging around. It was the down, that was Eric's riff.
Right.
And man, I love that riff, Eric. I don't know what to do with it, it's great. And I said, I love it. So maybe we can, that has to be a song. What kind of a song would that be? So it really was so mysterious to figure out where do you go with this riff? So Paul and I were walking down the street, 8th Avenue, and I guess these guys are still there, and so these black guys, hey man, come play a game, man, come on, I'll get you this, get you that, come on, find the show game, man.
Right.
Hey man, come on over. So I don't know how, but I was at Paul's house one day, and in the city, and his apartment, and I said, hey, why don't we just do something like, hey man, what you doing over there, man? What you doing over here? I said, that'd be cool to, bring that in. And then he grabbed that, and then the verse came alive, And then once we had the riff segueing into the verse, down, 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 down. Hey, we've been tuning to walking down the street. And I said, man, that's really good. So then Gene said, I got a title for that. Oh, hell's breaking loose. I said, man, there it is. We did it. So it was just, I could see it all though. Very, very clear visual for it.
Very cool.
Yeah.
One of the things that always fascinates me is the photo shoot you guys did for that album. And there's a lot of talk about, just you guys showed up in the studio, street clothes, took pictures. You've done, makeup shows just a few months prior, although obviously there was talk about taking off the makeup. I think you're wearing a wig in that picture, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that was,
what happened there? Why did they do that?
Didn't like my hair flat.
Okay. Was it your decision?
No. Wanted this was my flat hair.
Yep.
That's me. No, we need something sticking up. Because my hair doesn't stick up, man. So the rumor I hear is that this is not my body.
Yes.
This is just a torso from a dummy of I don't know.
Silly. Silly
Or
stuff.
who's the dummy, me or the torso? But that's so totally so you go, okay, it's a torso, it's a mannequin, yeah, okay, whatever you say,
Very funny.
Not it though.
One of the things that always fascinated me also is that some of my favorite Vinnie songs were actually covered by original members of Kiss.
Isn't that funny?
So, like the song Tears, I love that song. Have you heard Peter Criss's version before, and what do you think of it?
It was very different from what it was good. It was good. He had it was going in the direction of the way the song was written. So it had all the melodic content of it. So it was right. It was correct. When John Waite did it, he said can't remember how it happened, but I do remember one part of what happened. We were recording "Lick It Up" at the record plant in New York, in LA. And because we had switched from Los Angeles, then we had gone to New York, And so we ended up doing the rest of Lick It Up in New York. But while we were in LA, Kiss had booked out 2 of the studios, and John Waite was in next door in another studio. And he had come next door and he said, "I'm recording a song that you wrote called Tears." I said, "Really?" I said, "Wow, that's fantastic." So he said, "Come on over and listen to it, you know." And I remember saying to myself, "What did you do to my song?" That's not my song, you know. It's a tender song. I mean, it's a melodic song, and he made it into this rock song. And I said, "Should I say something?" And I said, "Nah, you know." But you know, it's strange when other artists interpret your material. You know,
Absolutely.
you get that's their interpretation of what somebody writes. So you know, you let it be. You know?
Absolutely.
But Peter he was pretty faithful to the original writing.
Absolutely.
So I know also Ace Frehley covered one of your songs, at least in demo form.
He did.
In 1985, he recorded Back on the
Back on the
Streets.
Streets, right.
And we were talking about that yesterday, and you said, you know, to you, what you didn't love about your recording
Right.
is that it didn't have keyboards on it.
Right.
Have you heard Ace Frehley's version?
I
know
did.
Richie Scarlett's singing
I
it,
did.
and it's got keyboards on it. So as you were talking about that yesterday, I'm like, I wonder what you thought of Ace's version of that.
It's completely faithful to the way the song was written, you know? So it's the performances that, for me, always make or break something for me, you know? I always listen to the singer, how much do I love that? And the track is, if it's faithful to the way the song was written, then it usually works. So how does the singer deliver a song, is really where it ends up for me. So it was good, you know. It's not my cup of tea, but it was good, for what they did.
Okay.
I just wanted one more thing about the Look It Up demos. Not for the Innocent originally had shared vocals by Paul Stanley and Gene Simmons. Do you remember that? And do you remember why they decided? Because I think the demo's better than the album version. Why they decided to change that?
That I don't remember. That is not something I actually remember. But I think it might have been, if it serves me right to think what happened. It just came like, why are we sharing vocals on this? This is more your song, and it seemed like it was, it was a Gene song, but it was a good song. I actually hadn't heard that for a long time. So I was doing a show in, I can't remember, maybe it was like a Chiller show, one of the Chiller shows, and we blast, I like to blast, Kiss stuff and Look It Up album, Creatures, Vinnie Vincent Invasion, in the room, And I Not for the Innocent came on, and I said, "Wow, that's good. Who is that?" I like that, and I forgot. I hadn't heard the song in so long, So, but when I came on, I said, "I don't remember that being that good," And that was funny, when you don't hear something for a long time.
Absolutely.
You've mentioned a few times 1,000,000 to 1, and I think that's maybe one of the best songs on Look It Up. Do you know why you guys didn't play that live on the tour?
I don't know, but sometimes it's really hard to do songs that are that have a lot to it. Like "I Still Love You" was something you could perform live. It had an easy performance ability to it. The value was to make it easy to play live. Not too many harmonies here in choruses, because those harmonies really bog you down, and you have to have the song, but an ease of performing it. And I don't know why we didn't do it, but it's just one of those songs that takes, maybe, in my opinion, a lot more effort to get correct live.
Okay.
But that probably was not the reason
Okay.
that we didn't do it, but it was my opinion.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I know when we spoke last month or 6 weeks ago, I was asking you about if you would do events like this around the country. I mentioned Los Angeles, I mentioned New York, and when I said New York, you got a little excited. You're like, "Yeah, I'm thinking of doing one in relationship with the Chiller Expo in April."
Yeah.
Any new news on bringing this around to other places in the country?
I'm gonna do it slow. I actually thought this. I have mixed feelings on this. I thought to myself, why don't I just do it here? And then this becomes an event, like a, 4 times a year we'll have it here, and have we could do. I have one. Max over here has suggested a Valentine's Day event, and I thought, wow, that's great. And then I had an idea to do a treasure reunion, and then I thought, wow, that is going to be terrific. Do I have that in February? Do I have it in March? I spoke to Felix, my dear friend, Felix Cavalier, and spoke to him on Thanksgiving Day, and he said he would love to do it, and to give him ample notice. He was going to stop down here today, but he's in California, and so I'm thinking maybe we do Treasure Reunion in either February or March. In May, we'll do the reunion with Jeff Scott Soto, because Jeff had performed a lot of my songs that are fan favorites. So where we would go with that now live would be, this is where we take it now. And so we're looking at maybe May 15th, May 20th, so for 2 days. What do you think? You like that idea?
Sounds like a great idea.
I do. I love it. It'll be a historical event for me because Jeff and I never performed live again, and we left these magical songs that happened in the 80s, where it was a magic decade for me and for a lot of people. And I've got a dear friend who listens religiously to "I'm on Fire for You." loves it, because it evokes all these memories for him, for that magic time. So we get to create that time period again. So that's important for me.
Nice.
Yeah, so I know when we spoke last time, you had mentioned about kind of liking performing on your own, not being tied into a band situation. Today when you performed, you used the drum machine and you had a bass player up here. Do you ever, I know you're talking about some of these reunions possibly, do you ever envision yourself playing like in a full band setting again, or not?
Not right now. It's funny, but I just thought this is really how I am the most comfortable right now. I like commanded by stage, and where I'm able to switch modes, tonalities, go where I want to go without anyone trying to follow me. And if the right people, and the right people are very, very difficult to find for me, because it is some very innate chemistry that I have to find with someone. If I can't find that, I'm happier doing it this way. So I'm going to stick with this. If the fates turn out where someone comes into my world and I go, you are me, I am you, and we are all together, But if we do it that way, and I find that kind of person, then that is the nucleus of where I can go. Then I can bring in the other elements.
Okay. I know I was talking with Steve yesterday, and we were talking about some of the bands, obviously, in the 80s, and you had the Vinnie Vincent Invasion. And I know there's a lot of rumors about the fact that the band Slaughter kind of took the contract from the Vinnie Vincent Invasion and kind of swiped it from you. And I know he was kind of talking about that, and you wanted to clear some of that up for the record. So let's hear your story on this.
Bullshit. Fucking bullshit. Everybody grabs the narrative to suit their own little world, total bullshit. The only person signed to Chrysalis Records was Vinnie Vincent. That was my contract. I had an 8-album deal with Chrysalis. No one else was signed to Chrysalis. Those individuals were employees of me. Record companies traditionally have a leaving member option clause. So if they sign Vinnie, anybody who leaves, figure, it's a leaving member. We got an option to either give you a record deal or let you go. And Polygram had a leading member option with me. So when I left KISS, they had an option to give me a record deal when I left the band or let me go. And that was traditional with record companies in those days. And that's as simple as it was. Every album, every band, every record company operated that way.
Mm-hmm.
But they had an employment agreement with me. I was signed to the label.
Okay.
And so nobody took a contract away from me. In fact, what actually happened was Chrysalis had changed, at a critical time they had changed key personnel. And the A&R department that signed Vinnie Vincent and created Vinnie Vincent Innovation were suddenly no longer there. So they changed hands, brought in some hotshot who thought, I'm going to sign a bunch of bands just like Poison so I can sell these records and appeal to the teen crowd, you know, and we got to get Robert Fleischman out because it doesn't fit the image.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking, if you moved him out, I'm out, you know. So that was it. That was really the nucleus of why I decided to leave after the second album. So, to my good fortune, first of all, you know, you always say to yourself, or I do, if I knew then, if I was the person I am now, then I would have aborted everything. Everything would have stopped. It would have all just, you're out, you're out, you're out, you're out, you're out. I'm re-recording this. I'm bringing the people in I want. I'm gaining control of this. I start this process all over until, and this record doesn't get released until I'm happy, you know. If I was the person I am now, back then that's what would have happened. But I was that person, but I didn't have that ability to know that I had that power, and that power was deadly, because I could call my own shots. But when you have people that are trying to make it so you don't know what you're talking about, we do. And then there's all of these threats that, you know, we have a tour coming up and you can't do this, that we need to do this. I would have said, fuck the tour, fuck your album, fuck all of the budget, I'm starting again, and if you don't like it, you get me off the label now and I'll go get another deal.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I would have done today. But back then, it was just, you railroad somebody when there's other people that are trying to exert power over you.
Mm-hmm.
So I was much younger, but I was still the same person back then, but I didn't have that ability to say, I'm calling the shots,
Mm-hmm.
you know? So if it was then, that's what I would have done. So by the time All Systems Go ran its course, which was pretty quick, the so-called hotshot who came in to think, nobody's going to know, Robert Fleischman, let's just get rid of him, nobody's going to know, let's bring in some cute young guy and, you know, he'll appeal to a teen crowd. And I said, no fucking way, you are not going to do this. If you do this, you're going to kill everything I'm looking to do. And everything I created and blah, blah, blah. So, you're going to sell 3 or 4 million, 5 million albums, turned out to be, that album sold half as many copies as Vinnie Vincent Invasion did. Vinnie Vincent Invasion first album sold 1.5 million. All Systems Go, as of my audit of Chrysalis Records of the year 2000, which is 20 years ago, ended up selling only 750,000 albums at that time. So his idea didn't work. So by 1988, September of 88, Chrysalis had to pick up my option for a third album by a certain date.
Okay.
So my manager at the time said, it was September, I was on vacation, I went somewhere and just taking it very easy for a month. And he says, Vinny, Chrysalis fucked up. They missed their deadline to pick up your option. And they want to know if you will waive their legal error. Meaning, forgive and forget, I'll do a third album with you. So I said, well, what happens if I do not waive the mistake? He said, you're out. I said, really? I said, I'm out. I said, goodbye. So then the legal members, they picked it up and they pumped money into those other guys, and that was it. So, you know, I'm getting control back of the real Vinnie Vincent narrative. You know, I'm back, nobody fucks with me now, okay? So you want to know the truth of things, just come to me, I'll tell you what happened. Yeah?
Absolutely. So then it sounds like to me, because I love the All Systems Go album, and I love like Ashes to Ashes, Let Freedom Rock, Ecstasy. I think they're all great well-written songs, Love Kills, That Time of Year, on and on. But it sounds like you'd say you want to re-record that album if possible, or
Absolutely.
Are you content?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I talked to Rob about re-recording everything, because the songs were brilliant. I love the songs. And so he was actually supposed to come down this past year, and we were supposed to lock ourselves away in the studio. But he's got a few things he has to take care of in his life, and I'm just waiting for that. So when he's ready for him, I either do it with Rob or I don't do it, you know, because it has to be with him. And funny enough, after All Systems Go, I ended up getting signed to Enigma Records, and Guitar Mageddon was born. So I said, Rob, come on down, and we were tearing it up. It was just badass. So I said, it's time to just, you know, if there's, because Guitar Mageddon is going to come up. So Vinnie Vincent Invasion got Guitar Mageddon on 3. I will never rest easy until All Systems Go becomes the real All Systems Go. So that's my hope. That's my hope.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. I know before we were talking about some of the stuff in the room here, you have a bunch of different articles of clothing hanging up around here. Is there any stories you can share about any of that stuff?
Yeah, let's see. What do we have? I think we've got video clothing. It's hard to see from here. The red. What's that one, Steve? What are you
Black
pointing to?
jacket.
Black jacket. From the Love Kills video.
Yep.
Yep.
No, that time of year.
That time of year video. Yep. And it's also that jacket in that photo right there, the one with the red background.
Yep, absolutely.
Yep. And the red pants are from All Systems Go.
Okay.
I can't see what else I'm looking at over there. But over on the right side is the original blouse that I wore on the back of Vinnie Vincent Invasion, which is amazing that this piece of clothing survived. I'm mesmerized that it survived 35 years and it's in pristine condition. It's never been out of a wardrobe, and it had been protected all these years. And that is the back of the Vinnie Vincent Invasion.
Yep.
Can you give me one of the Invasion albums there? And in my opinion, anything that's on an album or a video has significant history, historical significance to it, importance. But that's it right here.
Very nice. I always thought it was more of like a purple shirt. It's interesting.
No, this is it. This is the blouse.
Very nice.
And it was the blouse in a lot of the first promo shots.
Yep.
I don't know if you remember that.
Yes.
But
Yep, I do. Yep.
yeah, so
Very
that's
cool.
here. Let's see, what else is here?
Yes.
Original, the pink Jackson V, one of the two, double V.
Yep.
This is one of the only two prototypes built for me by Jackson Guitars at that time. And there was only two pink ones, and that was number 2. And God, what else do we have?
What about the guitar that you were playing over there?
That's the Carvin that it had been my favorite for years. I switched over to the Carvin because it had there was about 5 or 6 guitar companies that approached me on building the double V. And there was Washburn, Carvin, Ibanez, I can't remember, a few more. And the Carvin, felt when as soon as I picked it up, it was so small. I have small hands, so the carbon had this small neck. You know, it's not wide, and you know I'm exaggerating to show you, but the Jackson necks are more like this, and the carbon necks are more like that. So it's just very, very easy to play. Very, very. It's perfect for my hands, but and I beat it to death over the years, and all of the ends, the wings, have all been chewed off, and I put on Bondo here, just to, because I don't trust to bring my guitars anywhere for anyone to work on. So these wings, the ends of these wings don't even exist. If you feel that, feel that.
Okay.
Feel that?
Yeah.
That's like epoxy, you know.
Okay, right.
So I put epoxy on it just to get, build it back up, and I sanded it down, just to give it the shape again. Because all of this was all broken off over the years. So I got my little spray paint, my little, spray can pink, and I said, well, let me see what I could do with this,
So that's an original you own from the 80s?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Did you record any albums with that?
I did. I recorded. All Systems Go with that.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, that was my. And then I did live tour with that one.
Very cool.
And recorded Guitar Again. Everything I recorded had been with that from that point on.
Nice. I know when we spoke last time on the phone, you had mentioned having a whole bunch of different recordings. And I think yesterday we were talking a little bit that you have close to like 100 different takes, including different KISS shows, different demos. Are these shows that are soundboard recorded? How do you record these shows?
Soundboard, and I used to record on stage. So I leave my cassette deck right near my amp, and we pick up everything because all of our side feeds, the stage sounded great.
Right.
So we pick up everything, and I recorded almost every show from Creatures and Look It Up. There's 95 tapes in total. I'd gone through them not long ago, and it has, to me, it's a timepiece. It has songs that we were once working on way back then. That even I forgot.
Right.
And they were all of the original songwriting demos of these, classic songs, how they began, where we were at the time, how we did it, what the beginnings of the songs were, and there was everything that you and I talked about. That's going to be on the Vinnie Vincent archives, box set. Our jam sessions, outtakes, stuff that never happened, should have, but there's 95 tapes and all original.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I look forward to hearing that stuff.
Yeah, I can't wait for everybody to hear. It's thoroughly enjoyable, it really gives you an insight, like you're there, because you could feel it, you can't see it, but you could just feel the intimacy of all of it.
You said you can't see it. Do you have any video from that time?
No
Uh,
video.
I don't know if you've ever heard the tribute Vinnie Vincent album, Kiss My Arm, before. What do you think of that?
I thought it was really good. I was really blown away that someone, this was 10 years ago.
Yep.
I was completely blown away that someone would have remembered, would have thought that highly of me or remembered me, And that was a time when I didn't want to be away, but I had to. So when I heard that, I thought, wow, really? You thought that much of me to do that? That's amazing.
Right.
It was great. I loved it. I really did.
Very cool.
Just a few last lighthearted questions, if you don't mind, kind of just to get to know Vinnie Vincent, the person, a little bit more. But again, these are a little bit lighthearted. Just first thoughts that come to mind. What's your favorite album? It doesn't have to be something you played on. What's your favorite album?
Favorite album? Wow. That's And what's your favorite album? You mean out of the 2 million I love?
Yeah.
Okay, favorite album. Oh boy, still has to go back to the Beatles for me. But it's such a hard pick because they're eras. The Beatles were the early '60s when I was a kid, and I still love it today. And then you've got Led Zeppelin when the magic, the magic of that time and these incredible songs and musicians, and you know that Zeppelin 3, Zeppelin 2 were my top of my list, and I heard Gallows Pole not long ago, and I thought, God, what a masterpiece this is, you know, and you just get reminded of all these amazing songs and albums that have happened through all of this time, you know. So hard to pick an album for me.
Understandable.
Impossible.
So then, favorite bands?
Always the Beatles. No, always number one, and I'm surprised that they never. That it's, you know, we've gotten this far, and there's like sometimes it fluctuates, but to me, always number one.
Okay. You grew up in Connecticut. You've lived in Los Angeles. You live here in Nashville right now. Where is your favorite place to live?
Believe it or not, here.
Why is that?
Thoroughly love it here. I couldn't live in California now because it's turning into a third world state. But when in the 80s, it was Disneyland. It was perfect, you know. I loved it. Never thought I'd ever move out. And then riots, problems, crime, and in '92 I decided to come here. And it was culture shock coming here. But when I first came here, I said, whoa, I love this culture shock. And I got to really love it here because it's normal. You know? But there's music. There's so much music here. And I love that idea. You know, it's great restaurants. It's just quieter, you know. And you don't have, in LA you had the weather. That was the seductive part of living out there. The weather, the palm trees, you had the ocean, and you know, you go to San Francisco, you can go literally anywhere to this beautiful, beautiful state, you know, within a 10 to 15 hour drive. And here, we're in the South, so it's, you know, everything's very different. But the South has a real genteel feeling to it, and which I'm really attracted to. So this is my favorite place, you know, at least now.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So you would say before, so you lived in Connecticut. They're known for winters and snow and all that.
Yeah.
You miss any of that, or are you more?
I missed Connecticut when I was a kid, but today I don't miss the North. You know.
Understood.
Yeah.
What would you say your favorite dinner is to eat?
Dinner? Sushi, I love. Okay. Between sushi and sushi, I'm gonna stop with sushi. That's my favorite.
Favorite movie?
Ooh, favorite movie. Ooh, I'm a movie freak. God. Man, you can't catch me off guard. I gotta think about that. Favorite movie? James Bond. I'm addicted to James Bond movies. Then I'm addicted to these. I got my addictions changed, you know? But I get into these 1950s romance movies. You know, love is a many splendid thing. You know, and it captures this magic of that moment. Soldier of Fortune with Clark Gable. Okay. These powerful actors and the soundtracks that go with it. And you know, I always wanted to write soundtracks for movies, and I still do. It's something I always felt like cheated that I never got a chance to do it. Because I thought, oh man, I could write a great soundtrack for this movie, but I was never able to find that niche. But lately, I'm in my James Bond phase.
Are you into any science fiction stuff? Like, do you like Star Trek, Star Wars, any of that?
Never got me. Never got me.
Okay. Where would you say, of all the places you've been around the world, what was the most beautiful place you think you've seen?
Rio de Janeiro.
If you could go back to the 70s or the 80s, which one?
Ooh, that's a tough one. 70s I didn't like when I was there. You know? When I was there and it was all happening, I said, what a dull decade, you know. Like didn't like disco, I wanted to rock, I didn't like this. I said, man, everything's changed from the late 60s and I didn't like it. But I like it now because it's it's a memory, but 80s definitely.
Yes.
80s.
Yes.
Without a doubt, the 80s.
Sounds like they agree.
Yeah.
What do you want your legacy to be? 50 years from now, 60 years from now, when people talk about Vinnie Vincent, what do you want that legacy to be?
I want the fucking lies to stop. That's a big help. Have it be what it is. Vinnie was a nice person. Caring, loving, compassionate, but one motherfucker of a guitar player and a powerful musical force.
Yes.
So my last question, and we've heard a little bit over the last couple of days about this.
You guys agree with that? Wow.
Yes.
So my last question was, what does 2020 have in store for you? We've heard a little bit about it over the last couple of days, but what is 2020?
I have no idea. I stopped thinking like that. Okay. And I think it's better I just think of this in a small way and let the fates, let God say, hey boss, what do you want? I'm gonna plan this, because every time I plan something, somebody says, forget about that. It's like, all right, I'll do it your way. I'm not gonna plan anything. I love this because, like I said, this is like when I was a kid. I invite my friends down. Hey, come on down to my cellar. I'm practicing. With my band, and I love that. I haven't had that in so long, and I think I was telling you of all the tours and all the shows I've ever done. I never enjoyed one show, and it was always like. It's just work was a job. I never got anything out of it. I never said, I had such a great time. I'm having a great time here. So this is what I want to do. I want that feeling again of having that feeling of having this, being able to do this. And it's like going back in time,
Absolutely. Well, I think everybody in this room here has had a great time over the last day and a half. I want to say thank you. Thank you for taking the time to do this. It's been an honor, and let's have some fun the rest of the day.
Man. I love you, my friend. Thank you. You're the best.
Thank you, man.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, my friend.
Thank you.
Love having you here.
Yes, thank you.
Hey, we're gonna do a little picture.
Excellent.
Thank you,
Thank you, Vin.
Mike. Love you.
It's been a pleasure,
Thank you.
Vin. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Listen to us.
Vin, love you. Bye, guys. Yeah.
Alrighty, there you have it. I hope you enjoyed my interview with Vinnie Vincent. Again, for me, it was a great honor to sit with him in full makeup and chat for nearly an hour, answering some of the questions that I had. You got to hear him talk a little bit about his box set. You got to hear him talk a little bit about Slaughter and what it was like when they got a record contract. To me, I also love just talking with him about some of the Kiss demos. As I said in the interview, I'm a big demo collector, and I'd love to hear his take on some of those items. I also loved to hear his stories and his take a little bit on Peter Criss and Ace Frehley both covering his songs, as well as some of the other things that we discussed, whether it was some of the items in the room or some of the other topics. I just, to me, I had a great time chatting with Vinnie. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and thanks everybody for watching, and I'll see you guys soon. Thanks again. Later. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel below, The Rock and Roll Experience with Mike Brunn, for some more Vinnie Vincent Christmas Party exclusives, including an upcoming 1.5 to 2 hour Q&A that I'll be posting in the days ahead. Also, make sure you follow my Facebook page, The Rock and Roll Experience with Mike Brunn, where each and every day we talk about all the rock and roll music that you love.